G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome back of course to the Time Bomb channel, and I hope that all is good in your part of the world. Watch review today of the HERBELIN Art Deco Ref 10638A P08. First class watches here in the UK have lent this one into the channel, so please do check them out and mention the Time Bomb channel if you speak to them about this watch or any other watch, because they will do their best to help you on price matching. So why did I pick this one? Let's just zoom in a fraction. Well, I'm conscious of the fact that I feature way too many dive style watches on the channel, so I went with this to provide a little bit of contrast. So grab your smoking jackets, gentlemen, because I think this one will really impress. Yeah, so again, I don't think you really need me to tell you that this one is one very, very pretty retro style watch. Art Deco is a brilliant name for it because that's it just oozes that DNA, doesn't it? Through its steel. Herbelin as a brand is not one that I know a huge amount about. However, when you start digging, you discover they've got some very, very large catalogue for both gents and ladies, and some seriously good watches. A couple of standouts for me. This carbon chrono is absolutely stunning. Shame it retails for £3,500. As clearly it's well out of my league, but I think it would look amazing on my wrist. More budget friendly, this sports watch in blue again just looks very pretty. Imagine being down on the marina with a jug of sangria and this watch on your wrist. And then lastly, this GMT is sort of a cross between office class and rugged travel tool. Again, really very nice. But back to the watch in hand. Let's just zoom in a fraction and kick off with some specs. So it's fairly petite at 30 mils across, and you might want to add just maybe 1 or 2 for that little crown. North to south, I'm getting around 42 mils. So let me just get that out of the background. Focus better. 42 mils, as I say, north to south, and then it is sitting on very manageable 20 mil lugs. It's super slim as well at just 7 mils. So again, you can't complain about the wrist print on this one. I think it's the most svelte watch that I've reviewed in a very long time. Comes with 50 meters of watery goodness, which is probably what you'd expect for a watch of this style. And then you are getting a sapphire up top, which just sits just a smidge. No, it doesn't. A smidge above the steel bezel. No, it doesn't. I think, yeah, because there's horizontal steel frames there. Just keep it just underneath, don't they? These retail for around £385 here in the UK, but again, do ask first class watches for price matching on these things. The dial, I mean, again, you don't need me to tell you, it's very, very pretty indeed. You've got that contrast of that hatching square pattern in the middle, contrasted with the smooth outer. I do have a soft spot for Roman numerals on dress watches. I just think they look absolutely fantastic, and here they're very, 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 very well painted on there indeed. Again, very, very pretty all over. Where was I going to go next? Sadly, there's no loom. But I mean, yeah, probably not their fault, because they've gone for refined as opposed to tool with this one. And you'd probably, yeah, you might, I think the silver, sorry, I'm getting a lot of reflection. The silver, way too much reflection. The silver hands there, I think, again, very, very svelte and very pretty. And again, they'd probably be spoilt if you clarted them up with loom. So yeah, I'll take that back entirely. The seconds hand down at the bottom there, again, is for me an absolute standard on dress watches, and I do like the way that they've got the running sub seconds hand there hitting its markers. Again, something that not always happens with brands. Over onto the crown, then you've got a little petite onion there with that little bit of black contrasting there. It pops out just a single, and again, very, very smooth. My understanding that it's a Ronda 1069 inside, and which is part of the Slim Tech group of quartz movements. And yeah, Slim Tech, very necessary on something like this when you consider again how petite it is. And then obviously then just at the bottom of the dial there, you can see made in French France. The buckle, sorry, let me zoom back out again. The buckle then is signed. And again, this leather, very interesting to note that straight out of the box, it's quite soft already, and I think suggesting that it's going to wear in very, very nicely indeed. The case back is sort of, excuse me, it's got fingerprints on it, is very minimalist, just the typed there, but again, pretty clean. The lugs are something that, again, worth mentioning. You will see on all of their watches, some of the ones I showed before, they've got a thing for lugs and doing lugs differently to a lot of brands, and they've done very much the same here. Sort of a bit sticky out, and they've got a little twist of panache, and it has an interesting impact on wrist. 1 second. So again, for reference, my wrist is 7¼ as you can see. It sits very, very well indeed. I think whilst it's narrow, I think the length of the north to south there works very well. As I say, those lugs do make it just stand up a little bit on wrist. And I'm kind of wondering if those lugs had just like a teeny tiny curve to them, whether that would help. But there's zero top wobble because, again, it's very light, and as I say, the strap is very soft, so again, it hugs the wrist very pleasantly indeed. I think it's kind of hard. So I was just saying, I think it's kind of hard to design a rectangular watch that's, let's start that one again as I knock the camera flying. So I think it's kind of hard to design, dress rectangulars that stand out. But I think this one does for its clean execution and those little design touches. I hope that their future rectangulars have a little bit of curve on lugs because, as I say, it does improve fit on wrist to my eyes. But yeah, I mean, very impressed from my first experience with the brand. I hope to get more of their watches because, as I say, there's several in their collection that really do warrant having a look at. All right, guys, so that's a wrap. Massive thanks to First Class Watches again for the loan of this one. Really do appreciate it. And again, mention the channel if you speak to them. And thank you to you guys for your time and for your view. And we'll catch you all in the next watch vid. Cheers now.